Okay, here we go. Another video. Oh my god. Okay, I just got so tired all of a sudden. Literally, my fatigue is so bad. Hopefully my brain fog won't be too bad in this video, but forgive me if it is. My name is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. Here on YouTube I upload content that is very girly girl, bougie on a budget, lifestyle, vlog, and chronic illness themed because I live with 3-4 chronic illnesses. And yeah, I document my life living with them, and I try to spread awareness for the conditions that I deal with, as well as I try to help other people out there with the same condition feel less alone. That is what I do on YouTube. You should totally stop what you're doing and subscribe to join the family. And don't forget to turn on that bell so that you know whenever I upload. So let's just get right into today's video. So today's video is just kind of me sitting down, a heart-to-heart with you, and this is basically things that I would say to someone newly diagnosed with a chronic illness. So someone who just received a diagnosis, whether that be POTS, whether that be gastroparesis, whether that be cyclic vomiting, whether that be superior mesenteric artery syndrome, all of which I deal with, whether that be another chronic illness condition. There are so many, and this video is speaking to all of you people who are just receiving your first chronic illness diagnosis. And this is just going to be my tips, tricks, advice to you to just cope with that and to process that. So I hope this video is helpful, but yeah, let's just get started. So tip number 1 is to learn as much as you can about your condition and to educate yourself as much as possible about your chronic illness that you were just diagnosed with. Basically, by doing this, well, one, by better understanding your illness, it helps you better explain it to others when you share that information. It's also important to understand your illness so that you can advocate for yourself when you are having a medical emergency related to that chronic illness, because that is possible when you deal with chronic illness, is having flare-ups or emergencies. So it's important to learn as much as you can about your illness so that not only you yourself can be educated so that you can advocate for yourself, but so that you can also explain it to other people in general and in case of an emergency. And also, it's honestly, it kind of provides like a peace of mind, like learning more. And a lot of times when, like, especially when I got my POTS diagnosis, when I researched my POTS and like looked up stuff, like so many of the symptoms and things were popping up and making sense and putting together like pieces that were missing. And so it honestly provided me comfort, like researching my illness and like learning more about it, just because I know what to expect, and I feel more prepared to deal with it day to day because I feel educated about it. I don't know how else to explain that, but yeah, that is just my first tip. Tip number 2 is to take plenty of time processing everything. Getting a chronic illness diagnosis is very complex and it affects everyone differently. Like I said, there are so many different chronic illnesses, so some of them have different outlooks than others, but all chronic illnesses are difficult to deal with and live with and adjust to and cope with, especially if it's your first one that you're being diagnosed with and you're being told that your life is going to change forever. That can be a huge adjustment. So it's important to take plenty of time to process that and to not like rush yourself into just like living this new life. Like I don't know, just be patient with yourself and take plenty of time to process everything, because trust me, you deserve that time to process getting this new diagnosis. So my next tip or piece of advice is to be your own advocate and be your biggest advocate, especially when you are being hospitalized or in an emergency, like, or you need to do something to help yourself to like manage a symptom. Like if I felt like I was gonna pass out and I needed to sit down, like you need to be your own advocate and be like, hey, I feel like I'm having a medical episode, I need to sit. So it takes honestly some getting used to. One, it takes time to learn your own body, which I'll get into that later, but once you learn your own body, it's important for you to advocate for yourself when you need something. Like, would that be like, hey, I really need some water right now, or hey, I really need to sit down. Whatever you need for yourself to live the best life that you can live, and or to get the best care that you need and deserve when you are like in a flare or in an emergency. It's important to advocate for yourself because you know your body best, you know your illness best and how it affects you. So it's so important to advocate for what is going to help you the most. And a lot of times the people with the chronic illness, like at this point, I basically tell my doctors what I need and they just put in the order. Obviously they provide insight, and when things don't work they provide like new options and stuff, but you get to a point where you know how to advocate for yourself and tell them exactly what you need because you're so used to it. That is another piece of advice. Next tip is try not to compare yourself to others. So, and it is important to like research and try to find community like when dealing with chronic illness, but it is so important to not compare yourself to others because everyone's chronic illness journey is different, and people can have the same chronic illnesses and that they can be affected completely differently. So it is so important to not compare your journey to someone else's, whether it be in a positive or negative way. Try not to compare yourself to others because everyone's journey is different and everyone's story is different, whether it's how you were diagnosed, what your symptoms are, like whether you faint or not, ooh, I was glitching there, whether you faint or not and you have POTS. Like everyone's chronic illness is different and affects them differently and will have different experience from person to person. So do not compare your journey to someone else's because it's gonna be completely different regardless. Next step is to take it one day at a time. This is something that I've still had to really learn with chronic illness. At least with me, something I struggle with is avoiding the hospital because I have a lot of medical related trauma, and so I avoid the hospital at all costs. But as someone with chronic illness, I'm literally hospitalized, and for the past about year and a half I've been hospitalized almost every 2 weeks due to my gastroparesis, due to my cyclic vomiting, due to my superior mesenteric artery syndrome, my POTS syndrome, the seizures that I have developed. I have spent a lot of time in the hospital, and it's hard to live your day-to-day life when every single day is so unexpected and you never know if you're gonna wake up and that day is gonna be a flare day that sends you to the hospital, or that's the day that you're gonna have a seizure. Like, life with chronic illness is so unexpected. It's kind of pointless to rack your brain and stress yourself out worrying about when your next hospitalization is going to be, if that makes sense. At least that's what I do. Like, I'm just speaking to myself, like that's what I would do. It would be so hard for me to live my day-to-day life because I was so worried about when my next flare or when my next seizure or when my next hospitalization would be. So take it one day at a time. You can't really control what's going to happen because life with chronic illness is unpredictable, and so just take it one step at a time, one day at a time. That's all you can do, and try to focus on and enjoy that day and take it for what it is, and because not every day is guaranteed, you know. And my next tip is to just be patient with yourself, period. Be patient with yourself. You're dealing with a lot, you're going through a lot. Be kind to yourself, show yourself some love. Establish a strong support system. So this could be friends, this could be family, this could be doctors, this could be Facebook support groups, this could be friends in the chronic illness community, this could be a partner. This could be so many things that can contribute to a support system. A therapist, a psychiatrist. I have all of them. I have a cardiologist, a neurologist, a gastroenterologist. I have lots of friends, lots of family that support me, and I have an amazing partner who I love so, so much. But it is so, so important when dealing with a chronic illness to establish some form of support system, because you're gonna be dealing with a lot, and especially when you're living day-to-day life, like in chronic pain conditions, like where you're just in pain all the time, like you definitely get used to it, but like living with chronic illness is a lot, and you're gonna need some support, whether that's from doctors and professionals or whether that's from family and friends. It's whatever helps you the most to live the best life that you can live. Whatever you need supporting you to best live your life. Don't be afraid to reach out for help and to establish a support system for yourself, because you deserve it. Like, you deserve all the support in the world to deal with what you are having to deal with and live with every single day. And you deserve all the support and love in the world. The next thing is to start to really listen to your body and learn your limits. So this will definitely come with time and experience, but the more time that you live with this chronic illness condition that you were diagnosed with, whatever that may be, the more that you will learn your body, learn your warning signs for flares and emergencies. Like for me, I've learned my pre-syncope signs as well as my pre-seizure signs. So it's important to learn your body and learn and better, like, not only like learn, but pay attention to your body and like what's happening to it, so that you can understand, like, okay, this is how I feel before this is gonna happen, and that helps you better prepare for those episodes and or prevent them. So it's so important to really listen to your body and to learn your limits and to not push past those limits when you, like, don't push past your limits if you don't have to. So the very last tip is to know that you are not defined by your illness. You are still so strong and amazing and beautiful and worthy of living such a happy, amazing life. And this illness may be a part of you, and it may limit some things that you can do, and it may impact your life in not the most positive ways, but it does not define you, and you are so much more than your illness. And that's what I want to end this video on, because it's important to love yourself and to know that you are not defined by what limits you health-wise. Because you are so much more than that as a person, and there is so much more to you than what you are sick with, and it's important you don't forget that or lose sight of that. So sending so much love and spoons to all of my chronic illness fighters out there. Keep on fighting, keep staying strong. I love you. I hope this video was helpful to any newbies who are newly diagnosed with a chronic illness. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below any video requests, and don't forget to stop what you're doing and subscribe to join the Famurray. I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye. Mwah.